Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ashwin Joglikar and I am from Resonance PCCP division. Today I am here with class 10th board sample paper of the subject social science. तो अब जल्दी से हम इसका एनालिसिस करते हैं और इस सैम्पल पेपर को सॉल्व करते हैं. ओके, सो फर्स्ट पार्ट जैसा कि आप देख सकते हो, सेक्शन ए कंटेन्स MCQs, दैट इज मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस एंड टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इज 21 मार्क ईच. तो पहला क्वेश्चन जो आपके सामने ये है, दैट इज आइडेंटिफाई द करेक्ट ऑप्शन दैट डिस्क्राइब्स द एक्ट गिवन बिलो. नाउ यहाँ पे तीन स्टेटमेंट्स दिए गए हमें सामने, फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट, सेकंड स्टेटमेंट एंड थर्ड स्टेटमेंट. अब अगर हम इस स्टेटमेंट पढ़ते हैं, द एक्ट वाज पास्ड बाय द इंपीरियल लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, तो आई एम श्योर कि आपके दिमाग में किस एक्ट के बारे में आ रहा होगा. इट गेव पावर टू द गवर्नमेंट टू रिप्रेस पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविटीज. इट एम्पावर्ड द गवर्नमेंट टू डिटेन पॉलिटिकल प्रिजनर्स विदाउट ट्रायल. So options provided here are Rowlatt Act, Vernacular Press Act, Government of India Act or Inland Immigration Act. So out of the following four, option A is correct, that is Rowlatt Act, which was passed in March 1919 by the Imperial Legislative Council, and it was passed hurriedly despite the opposition of the Indian members. Alright, moving on to the next question. Which place in India has an artificial lake to conserve water that dates to 11th century? Now this is from your chapter water resources, that is from your geography portion, and the correct answer here is Bhopal. Out of the options given here, which place in India has an artificial lake to conserve water that dates to 11th century? Delhi, Bhopal, Mumbai or Kolhapur? Correct answer is option number B, Bhopal. Alright, moving on to the next question. Now यहाँ पे एक टेबल गिवन है हमारे सामने. Read the data given below and answer the question. Educational achievement of rural population of Uttar Pradesh. कैटेगरी दी हुई है, मेल एंड फीमेल का लिटरेसी रेट इन परसेंटेज हमें दिया हुआ है. लिटरेसी रेट फॉर रूरल पॉपुलेशन 76% फॉर मेल्स एंड फीमेल 54% है जो गिवन है डेटा के अकॉर्डिंग. लिटरेसी रेट फॉर रूरल चिल्ड्रन इन एज ग्रुप 10 to 14 years 90%, 87%, and percentage of rural children aged 10 to 14 years of age that who are attending school, that is 85%, 82%. Now question asked is, as per the data given above, who has the least percentage of literacy rate in rural population? तो rural population में least percentage of literacy rate किसका है? Options है मेल है, children, मेल एंड फीमेल या सिर्फ फीमेल. So correct answer यहाँ पे रहेगा D, female. As you can see from here, the data which is provided. Alright, next question हमारा. Which of the following options represent potential measures that can be taken to mitigate the threats posed on the tiger population and biodiversity? Now इनमें से कुछ statements हमें provided है. Now कौन से ऐसे threats हैं, ठीक है, which are seen on the tiger population and biodiversity, and इन options में से क्या potential measures हम ले सकते हैं उस threat को कम करने के लिए. Okay. So पहला है banning hunting, giving legal protection to their habitats and restricting trade in wildlife. सही है. Prohibiting the visit of public into forest area, establishing wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. सही है. Converting forest into reserved and protected forest. That is also correct. Now see, second option जो यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है, prohibiting the visit of public into forest area. That would not mitigate the threat to the tiger population and biodiversity. Visiting or allowing public to visit forest areas in a limited manner probably would help in increasing tourism in that area. So options यहाँ पे क्या है? Statement 1 and 2 are correct. Statement 2, 3 and 4 are correct. Statement second is correct. Or D, statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. So यहाँ पे option number D will be the correct answer. That is statement 1, 3 and 4 are correct. 1, 3 and 4 are correct. Alright. When many countries of Europe came together to form European Union, Dash was chosen as its headquarters. Options given है यहाँ पे Brussels, Paris, London and Zurich. Now this is from your civics portion, democratic politics portion, power sharing chapter. तो answer है पहला वाला option, that is Brussels. The capital of Belgium was chosen as the headquarters of European Union. Next question is, Which of the following statements accurately distinguishes between majoritarianism and power sharing? तो अगेन पावर शेयरिंग वाले चैप्टर से हमारा क्वेश्चन है कि दो जो चीजें हैं मेजोरिटेरियनिज्म एंड प्रॉब्ली अकोमोडेशन एंड पावर शेयरिंग, तो इसमें से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट दोनों पॉइंट्स को एक्यूरेटली डिस्टिंग्विश करता है? पहला पॉइंट है मेजोरिटेरियनिज्म एम्फसाइजेस द डोमिनेंस of the majority community while power sharing emphasizes the sharing of power among different groups. तो काफी हद तक ये स्टेटमेंट सही लग रहा है. B, majoritarianism emphasizes need of consensus building while power sharing emphasizes the exclusion of minority groups. तो ये completely wrong statement लग रहा है हमें. Majoritarianism emphasizes the importance of accommodating minority interest. तो majoritarianism कभी भी ये नहीं emphasize करता. While power sharing emphasizes the need for majority rule. तो ऐसा भी नहीं है. तो आपका सी स्टेटमेंट भी यहां पे रॉन्ग है. नाउ डी, मेजोरिटेरियनिज्म emphasizes the need for peaceful resolution of conflicts, which is not the case, while power sharing emphasizes the use of force to impose the majority's will. तो ये स्टेटमेंट भी रॉन्ग है बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू द चैप्टर पावर शेयरिंग हमने वहां पे देखा कि श्रीलंका ने कैसे मेजोरिटेरियन पॉलिसीज को यूज करा था टू इम्पोज इट्स विल और ऑफ द मेजोरिटी ऑन द सर्टेन सेक्शंस ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन. सो यहां पे option A will be the correct answer out of these statements. Next question, there are two statements marked as assertion and A and reason R. Mark your answer as per the codes provided below. Assertion हमें दिया है democracies are based on political equality. Correct statement है. Why? Because at least democracies fulfill this idea of equality, that is in politics or political equality, that is each person has a right to vote. One person, one vote, one value. Reason, all individuals have equal say in electing representatives. तो दोनों statement सही है and reason seems to be the correct explanation of the assertion. So out of this options given below, probably A answer should be correct. That is both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. All right. Rahul has a sack of cotton but he is in need of wheat. तो राहुल के पास कॉटन है और उसको जरूरत है व्हीट की, गेहूं की. एंड अनुष हैज अ सैक ऑफ व्हीट, उसके पास व्हीट है एंड ही इज इन नीड ऑफ कॉटन. तो क्लियरली यहां पे हमें एक कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट्स वाला सिचुएशन बनता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है. चैप्टर मनी एंड क्रेडिट, अंडर दिस सिचुएशन बोथ विल बी एबल टू एक्सचेंज देयर गुड्स. इन केस ऑफ एब्सेंस ऑफ सच कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट्स they may not exchange their goods. Suppose Anush requires something else apart from cotton. Which one of the following would be the best option that describes the mutual exchange of goods and eliminate the exchange of goods? ठीक है, तो इनमें से कौन सा ऑप्शन ऐसा है जो बेसिकली उनके लिए एक्सचेंज म्यूचुअली एक्सचेंज भी हो जाए गुड्स को और उनकी ये डिमांड को एक्सक्लूड कर दे कि उनको अगर कुछ एक सामान किसी को देना है तो सामने वाला खरीदने के लिए वो तैयार हो, रेडी हो. दैट इज अगेन डबल कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट्स. सो ए, डबल कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट, एक्सचेंजिंग कमोडिटी फॉर कमोडिटी नहीं, क्योंकि अगर कभी किसी दूसरे को कोई दूसरी कमोडिटी रिक्वायर्ड होगी तो वो एक्सचेंज पॉसिबल नहीं हो पाएगा. डबल कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट, क्रेडिट ऑन कमोडिटी, ये भी पॉसिबल नहीं है. डबल कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट, लोन ऑन कमोडिटी, ये भी पॉसिबल नहीं है. डी ऑप्शन विल बी द करेक्ट चॉइस, डबल कोइंसिडेंस ऑफ वांट एंड मनी. तो इससे बोथ विल बी एबल टू वुड बी द बेस्ट ऑप्शन दैट डिस्क्राइब्स द म्यूचुअल एक्सचेंज ऑफ गुड्स भी हो जाएंगे उनके, ठीक है, एंड एलिमिनेट द एक्सचेंज ऑफ गुड्स. दैट इज मनी बिकम्स हियर द मीडियम ऑफ एक्सचेंज. नाउ you are a citizen of country that has a democratic form of government. You want to ensure that the system of power sharing in your country is effective and that no one branch of government has absolute power. No one branch of government. Which of the following measures would best meet these goals? अब इनमें से कौन सा measures सबसे सही रहेगा? पहला है all power is concentrated in the hands of central government. Now this is not a correct measure because it will become a unitary form of government. Power is divided between central government and the states or provinces with each level having its own sphere of influence. To a certain extent this can be correct. C, power is separated among the legislative, executive and judicial branches with each branch having its own responsibilities and powers. Legislative, executive and judicial branches. D, power is shared among different levels of government such as the national, regional and local governments with each level having some degree of autonomy. तो ये भी नहीं होगा, है ना. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन भी नहीं होना चाहिए. Now, most appropriate probably system of power sharing which is related to a branch of government, that is, and that no one branch of government has absolute power, will be option number C here. That is, power is separated among the legislature or legislative, executive and judicial branches with each branch having its own responsibilities, सबकी अपनी responsibilities हैं and powers. All right. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Now, here is an image which is given. Probably you can relate the chapter to the rise of nationalism in Europe, and this identify the painting from the options given below: Frankfurt Parliament, Reichstag, Duma or the House of Parliament. Now, clearly the answer is Frankfurt Parliament, option number A. All right. Next question is, evaluate the impacts of foreign trade on the global economy by identifying the appropriate statements among the following options. तो इनमें से अब कौन से appropriate statements हैं वो हमें find out करने impacts of opening foreign trade on the global economy. पहला, the choice of goods in market increase, right? Customers के पास ज़्यादा choices हो जाती हैं जब opening up, liberalization होता है, that is foreign trade होता है, exchange of goods होते हैं. Producers from two countries closely compete with each other despite the distance between their location, that is also correct. Third, foreign trade thus results in connecting the markets or integration of markets in different countries, this is also correct. The quality of the products is always good. Now, this cannot be guaranteed. So, first, second and third statements are correct. Now, option statement 1 and 2 are appropriate, statement 1 and 2 and 3 are appropriate. All the statements are appropriate and only statement 4 is appropriate. Now, out of this, option number B will be correct answer, that is statement 1, 2 and 3 are appropriate. If a government provides the citizens a right and means to examine the process of decision, it is probably if the government provides its citizens a right and means to examine the process of decision making, it should be a accountable government, a responsible government or a transparent government. Probably see, provides the citizens a rights and means to examine the process of decision making is an way of transparent government. So, there is a transparency in the way the government is working. So, probably answer should be C. Now, 13th question, arrange the following statements in sequential order based on events that shaped the non-cooperation movement. General Dyer opened fire at the large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh. Second, forced recruitment carried out by the British government and the economic hardships faced by the people during the First World War. The defeat of the Ottoman Emperor of Turkey led to the formation of the Khilafat movement or Khilafat committee in Bombay, now Mumbai. Gandhiji launched a nationwide satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act. Okay, तो अब हम इसकी dates देख लेते हैं and then probably match करते हैं options के साथ. General Dyer opened fire at the large crowd gathered in the enclosed ground of Jallianwala Bagh, that happened on 13th of April 1919. ठीक है. Then forced recruitment carried out by British government. This probably we can relate it to 1914 से 1918 जो first part में First World War and its effects में दे रखा है. ठीक है. So इसके हिसाब से अभी okay. Defeat of Ottoman Empire, Emperor of Turkey led to the formation of Khilafat committee. Again, this is somewhere March 1919 के around जब बॉम्बे में खिलाफत कमेटी बनी. गांधी जी launched a nationwide सत्याग्रह against the Rowlatt Act will be April 1919. All right. तो अब इसके अकॉर्डिंग हम देखें, सबसे पहला पॉइंट आएगा सेकेंड, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट पॉइंट आपका आना चाहिए अकॉर्डिंग टू द डेटा थर्ड. यहां पे कोई भी ऑप्शन उनमें से मैच नहीं कर रहा है. सो probably and this is from sample paper, so it can be checked later on if there is any queries related to this question, but I am doing it according to the data which has been provided to us in the NCERT. ठीक है, आप लोग भी चेक कर लेना. सो सेकंड होगा हमारा पहला वाला, दैट इज रिक्रूटमेंट जो कैरी आउट करा था ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट ने, फोर्स रिक्रूटमेंट. उसके बाद थर्ड हमारा पॉइंट आएगा डिफीट ऑफ ओटोमन एम्परर ऑफ टर्की लेड टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ खिलाफत मूवमेंट. ऑलराइट, इसके बाद नेशन वाइड सत्याग्रह अगेंस्ट राउलेट एक्ट, अप्रैल 6 अप्रैल हड़ताल बुलाई थी महात्मा गांधी ने, तो वो हो जाएगा हमारा फोर्थ पॉइंट. ठीक है, एंड फाइनली जलियांवाला बाग इंसिडेंट हुआ था 13 अप्रैल 1919 को, तो वो हो जाएगा फर्स्ट पॉइंट. सो दिस शुड बी द करेक्ट सीक्वेंस ऑफ इवेंट्स फॉर नॉन कॉपरेशन मूवमेंट. इनमें से किसी में भी वो हमें नहीं दिख रहा है. 4 3 2 1 2 1 3 4. ओके, एंड सो 2 1 3 4 and 1 4 3 2 1 2 3 4. Okay, so probably you can get this question checked by yourself also, and please refer your NCERTs, the Rowlatt Act वाला जो part है nationalism in India में. Okay, moving on to the next question. There was a strike announced by the transport union due to which the lorries refused to transport vegetables, milk, etc. from the rural areas to the urban areas. Food became scarce in urban areas, whereas farmers were unable to sell their products. Now, which of the following sectors are affected due to the strike carried out by the transport union? Now, see, as we know, all the three sectors of the economy are interdependent on each other, interlinked and interdependent. So, obviously, अगर एक सेक्टर में कोई प्रॉब्लम आएगी तो उससे बाकी सेक्टर्स भी इफेक्ट होंगे. So, answer will be all the three sectors will be affected. That is option number C. Tertiary, primary, and secondary sectors will be affected by the strike carried out by the transport union. Next question, consider the statements given below and choose the correct answer. Statement पहला वाला statement है, Western printing techniques and mechanical press were imported in late 19th century as Western powers established their outpost in China. तो as we know, the print culture in the modern world वाला chapter है history portion से आपके. जब पहले यहाँ से वुड ब्लॉक प्रिंटिंग चाइना से मार्को पोलो के थ्रू इटली में गई, इटली से यूरोप में फैली, फिर देन लेटर ऑन जोहान Gutenberg had a big breakthrough in developing a printing, the first ever printing press, and afterwards this printing press went to different parts of the world. तो वही एक दिया हुआ है statement, and again it is from the book. Second statement दिया है, Beijing became the hub of new print culture catering to Western style schools. Now here Beijing नहीं है, probably if you will see book में दिया है Shanghai is given, became the new hub. Okay, so statement 1 तो हमारा correct है, but statement 2 is wrong. So option number A will be the correct answer, that is statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is incorrect. Alright, next question हमारा, M gave his friend clues about a type of soil that suits for growing cotton. अब cotton का नाम आते ही probably आपके दिमाग में black soil आ जाएगा. ठीक है, देन ब्लैक सॉइल के साथ साथ प्रॉब्ली डेकन ट्रैप वाला जो रीजन है, ठीक है, डेकन प्लेटू वाला रीजन आपके माइंड में आ जाएगा. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग क्लूज प्रोवाइडेड बाय एम वुड बी मोस्ट यूजफुल इन आइडेंटिफाइंग द आइडियल टाइप ऑफ सॉइल. अब क्लूज क्या क्या गिवन है, इट इज वेल नोन फॉर इट्स कैपेसिटी टू होल्ड मॉइस्चर, दैट इज ट्रू फॉर ब्लैक सॉइल. इट टर्न्स येलो व्हेन इट इज हाइड्रेटेड, नो, दिस इज अबाउट रेड एंड येलो सॉइल्स. इट इज रिच इन कांकर एंड भांगर नोड्यूल्स, नो, दिस इज फॉर एलुवियल सॉइल्स. एंड इट इज अ वेल ड्रेन्ड लोमी सॉइल, दिस इज फॉर loamy soils. So out of these clues given, only clue 1 is correct related to black soil. So answer will be option number A, clue 1. Next question हमारा, the emergence of dash is directly connected to the rise of political parties. Now this is again a line given from the chapter itself. The rise of or the emergence of representative democracies is directly connected to the rise of political parties. So option number C will be the correct answer here. Next question, again the process of integration between countries is called as process of integration between countries. Out of the option, privatization no, globalization yes, liberalization no, competition no. So option number B will be the correct answer here, the process of rapid integration between two countries. Next question, which of the following statements is correct keeping the requirement of formation of government? तो keeping the requirement of formation of government, इनमें से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट सही माना जाएगा? स्टेटमेंट 1 जो दिया है, इट इज पॉसिबल फॉर इंडिपेंडेंट कैंडिडेट्स टू फॉर्म अ गवर्नमेंट, नॉट सो. okay, because number of independent candidates won't be that much. Statement 2, government formation is exclusively reserved for political parties. No, not really. Statement 3 है, ये true है, but अभी हमें और statement भी पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. The formation of government is limited to only elected political parties. ठीक है. Fourth, government can only be formed by political parties that are elected and hold a majority. So out of the given 4 statements, statement 4 is a complete option out of the choice for keeping the requirement of formation of government. तो एक गवर्नमेंट को बनने के लिए आपको पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज विच आर इलेक्टेड अगेन, है ना, क्योंकि इलेक्टेड जो मेंबर्स हैं वही गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करेंगे एंड दे शुड आल्सो होल्ड अ मेजॉरिटी. सो ऑप्शन नंबर दैट इज स्टेटमेंट 4 विल बी द करेक्ट आंसर here. So only statement 4 is right. So option D will be our correct answer. Next, Miss S approached a bank nearby to avail loan for her own business as well as a self-help group which is operating in her village. The bank rejected her loan application, whereas the self-help group accepted to support her by providing the loan. Which one of the following document is required by the bank but not required by the self-help group to approve Miss S लोन एप्लीकेशन फॉर हर बिजनेस? तो अब इनमें से कौन सी वो ऐसी चीज है जो बेसिकली प्रॉब्ली बैंक्स वुड रिक्वायर बट डेफिनेटली सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप्स डोंट रिक्वायर? एप्लीकेशन फॉर लोन्स, अरेंजमेंट लेटर, डॉक्यूमेंट ऑन कोलैटरल, डिमांड प्रोमिसरी नोट एंड टेक डिलीवरी लेटर. सो इज आउट ऑफ दिस ऑप्शन नंबर सी, दैट इज आउट ऑफ द टर्म्स ऑफ क्रेडिट, banks do require certain collateral to be deposited by them or to them. Okay, and why the rural population fails to obtain a loan from a formal source of credit is because of the lack of collateral which they fail to provide. All right, so option number C यहाँ पे हमारा सही आंसर होगा. Now moving on to the next part, all right, of our paper, that is very short answers and 2 मार्क्स से क्वेश्चन है, 4 क्वेश्चन होंगे, टोटल 8 मार्क्स. नाउ यहाँ पे हमें मैप दिया हुआ है, thoroughly and mention the study the map thoroughly and mention the languages that are dominantly spoken in Belgium. Again, this is from your chapter power sharing. Now clearly as you can see, the linguistic regions in Belgium where the dominant language spoken is Dutch and French. Now if you wish, you can also write the percentage of these. All right, 59%, 40% in the whole country. In Brussels it is 80% French and 20% Dutch. All right, so the language that are dominantly spoken in Belgium are Dutch and French. Next question is, traders and travelers introduce new crops to lands they traveled. Substantiate this statement with illustrations. Now this is from your the making of a global world chapter history portion. Traders and travelers introduce new crops to lands they traveled. Like noodles traveled west from China to become spaghetti, perhaps then pasta. From Arab traders took pasta to 5th century Sicily and an island now in Italy. Similarly, food which is known in India now, probably our ancestors never knew about that food. Then many of the popular items such as potatoes, soya, groundnuts, maize, tomatoes were not known to our ancestors until about 5 centuries ago. These foods were only introduced in Europe and Asia after Christopher Columbus accidentally discovered the vast continent that we now call as America. In fact, many of our common foods came from America's original inhabitants, that is the American Indians. Now, 23rd question, Mr. Palani is from Tamil Nadu, wishes to cultivate either tea or wheat. Which one of the crops out of the 2 can he cultivate in his state? Now, Tamil Nadu is known for tea cultivation, and substantiate your answer with any 2 reasons. Now, probably agriculture chapter. Mr. Palani must cultivate tea in Tamil Nadu as the soil is and climatic conditions in Tamil Nadu are more suitable to grow tea. The tea plants grow well in tropical and subtropical areas or climates with deep, fertile, well-drained laterite soil, rich in humus and organic matter. Frequent showers evenly distributed over the year ensure continuous growth of the tender tea leaves. Next question, mention any two reasons to prove that India is a federal country. Now from your portion that is chapter federalism, दो ऐसे कौन से reasons हैं जो प्रूव करते हैं कि इंडिया एक फेडरल कंट्री है. ओके, नाउ फेडरल कंट्री का और या फेडरल वर्ड का हमें मतलब पता होना चाहिए यहाँ पे, दैट इज पावर व्हेन इट इज डिवाइडेड बिटवीन द सेंट्रल एंड द रिस्पेक्टिव स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स. नाउ द फॉलोइंग आर द रीजंस व्हिच प्रूव दैट इंडिया इज अ फेडरल कंट्री. अगर आपको फेडरलिज्म की डेफिनेशन या उसके फीचर्स पता है तो प्रॉब्ली यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर, राइट. अब पहला है डिवीजन ऑफ पावर्स. The Constitution of India clearly demarcates the powers of central and the state governments and both have their separate areas of jurisdiction. ठीक है. Then further it is divided into union list, state list and concurrent list. That is the 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. Independent judiciary. India has an independent judiciary with the power of judicial review. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority in the country. Representation of states, the Rajya Sabha, that is the upper house of the Indian Parliament, represent the states and union territories of India. All right. So out of these three, we can write any 2 points. All right. Moving on to the next question and the section, that is section C. Now we start with short answer based questions, that is now 3 marks questions, 5 questions and total section weightages of 15 marks. Provide evidence to support the claim that print culture had a significant impact on the social lives of women in India. Now, how did print culture affected the life of women in India? Clearly, women in those times were only confined to their the 4 walls of the house. Now, through print, they were able themselves to read and imagine a different kind of world. Apart from that, they themselves became writers and also wrote about their lives. So, rise of print culture in India during the 19th century played a crucial role in awakening the social life of women. The printing press allowed women to access information. दुनिया में क्या चल रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, ठीक है, information, knowledge and ideas that were previously inaccessible to them. Women's magazines, newspaper and books provided a platform for women to express their feelings or views, ideas and opinions on various social issues such as education, gender equality, women's rights and social reform. Many of the liberal husbands and fathers, they began educating their women folk at home and sent them to school. East Bengal mein Raj Sundari Devi, a young married girl in a very orthodox family, learned to read in the secrecy of her kitchen and wrote her autobiography Amar Juban. It was the first full length autobiography published in Bengali language. Some more points like Kailash Bhashini Devi wrote books highlighting the experiences of women. Then in Maharashtra, Tarabai Shinde and Pandita Ramabai wrote with passionate anger about the miserable lives of the upper caste Hindu women, especially widows. A woman in a Tamil novel expressed what reading meant to women who were confined by social regulations. Kya, what reading actually meant for them. For various reasons, my world is small. More than half my life's happiness has come from books. So therefore, print culture helped awaken social consciousness and contributed to the progress of women's rights and empowerment in India. So any of the 3 points mentioned here. Next question. A worker in an urban area who was working in a small factory was not paid his wages properly. He was forced to work extra hours under poor working conditions. There were no job security. Recently, he lost his job and was found selling electrical items in a pushcart. Analyze the role of government in protecting the workers working in unorganized sector. तो अब किस तरह से यहाँ पे सारी कंडीशंस इन्होंने क्वेश्चन में दे दी हैं बिलोंगिंग टू एन अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर. ऑलराइट, अब इसमें से हमें बताना है कि गवर्नमेंट क्या रोल प्ले कर सकती है इन हेल्पिंग दीज वर्कर्स. द स्मॉल फैक्ट्रीज मस्ट बी रजिस्टर्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट and have to follow its rules and regulations which are given in various laws such as Factories Act hai, Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Gratuity Act, Shops and Establishment Act, etc. The government can provide loans to the youth, unemployed educated youth to start their own small businesses. The workers are supposed to get medical benefits and under the law, the factory manager has to ensure facilities like drinking water and a safe working environment for these people. Then the B part, Mr. Pawan, a village head, wanted to create more job opportunities to increase the income of people of his village under NREGA Act. Suggest any 3 activities so that Mr. Pawan could initiate in his village. Alright. Before that, so इसमें आपको sorry, question number 26 जो है वो choice based है. Okay, so either of the one you have to answer. Alright, either A part और उसका second part जो B है वो. ठीक है. So under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (NREGA), the village head Mr. Pawan can take several initiatives to increase the income of the people living in his village. It aims to provide employment to rural households, 100 days of employment, और अगर वो employment provide नहीं करा पाते तो they will be given allowances. Alright, cleaning the lake or pond, cleaning and maintaining water bodies such as lakes can be work. Then village road construction एक work हो सकता है possible. Cooperative milk society और small scale industry का development, ठीक है, और construction work. तो ये कुछ काम Mr. Pawan initiate कर सकते हैं as head of the village in his area. All right. Next question, agriculture gives boost to the industrial sector. Manufacturing industry chapter में से है ये. Justify the statement with any 3 relevant points. Okay. तो first हमारा point हो जाएगा यहाँ पे raw material supply, second market expansion and third employment generation. So as you know, agriculture and industry are also both interdependent and interlinked. Why? Because many of the goods which are produced in agri sector or agriculture sector are or become raw material for the industrial sector, and what things are produced in industries are again helping in agriculture field as well, or the primary sector. So raw material वाला point पहला, that is agriculture is significant source of raw materials for various industries such as food processing, textiles and paper. All right. Then उसके बाद next आपका market expansion. Agriculture provides a vast market for industrial products. For example, the use of agriculture machinery, tractors, tillers and harvesters creates a demand for industrial goods. Then employment generation. Agriculture is labor intensive sector that generates employment opportunities for a significant population in India. A healthy agriculture sector can increase the income level of farmers and agriculture workers. All right. So again, these 3 points. Next question comes is the Indian Constitution provides 3 lists, union, state and concurrent list to distribute the legislative power. State any 2 subjects that are included in the union list. तो union list में 2 subjects के नाम बताने हमें. In which list the subject education is included in why. Okay. Now as we know there are 3 lists, union, state list and the concurrent list. Union list में union government or the subjects which are mentioned are of national importance and only the union government can make laws regarding them. For the state list, the subjects are of state or regional level importance and the state government can make laws on them, union government can advise them. Okay. Third list is concurrent list, in which both the union and the state governments can make laws, but in case there is a conflict between the laws made by the union or the state government, then the law made by the union government shall prevail. The subjects that are included in the union list are again defense, so any 2 you can write, foreign affairs, okay, currency, railway, air transport, ports, post and telegraphs. Second part, the subject education comes under the concurrent list, which means that both the union and the state government have the power to make laws on this subject. The concurrent list contains subjects that are common interest to both union and the state governments, like in terms of education we have a state board, okay, as well as we have a central board. So both can make laws according to their ways, but in case there is a conflict, the law which is made by the central government shall prevail. All right. Now next is again a database question. Compare tables A and B and answer the question given below. All right. तो यहाँ पे हमें शेयर ऑफ सेक्टर्स दिया हुआ है पहले टेबल में, टेबल ए में, इन जीडीपी इन परसेंटेज ईयर 73-74 एंड 2013-14. टर्शरी में जीडीपी का शेयर इन परसेंटेज 50-68 10-21-40-11. ओके. टेबल बी में शेयर ऑफ सेक्टर्स इन एम्प्लॉयमेंट इन परसेंटेज अगेन 77-88 1977-78 एंड 2017-18 18-31 फॉर टर्शरी, सेकेंडरी के लिए 11 and 25 एंड प्राइमरी में 71-44. Now A remarkable fact about India is that while there has been a change in share of the three sectors in GDP, अगर हम देखेंगे तो ये पहले भी ज्यादा था, ओके, बट यहाँ पे सब्सटैंशियली है ना चेंज हुआ है, बट यहाँ पे इतना सिग्निफिकेंट चेंज नहीं आया है. एम्प्लॉयमेंट में अभी भी प्राइमरी सेक्टर इज लीडिंग. हाँ, डेफिनेटली चेंज आया है, दैट इट वाज 71 अर्लियर, फ्रॉम 71 it has reduced to 44. All right, from secondary sector mein it has increased from 11 to 25, and again there is a substantial increase in tertiary sector also in terms of employment. Okay, why didn't a similar shift out of primary sector happen in case of employment? Substantiate or answer. तो वही डेटा को एनालाइज करके हमें बताना है कि in terms of contribution towards GDP, primary sector definitely tertiary sector has definitely grown, but in terms of employment it hasn't. Yeah, it is not still overtaken the primary and the primary sector. So substantial shift in employment in primary sector hasn't happened because of the following. पहला, insufficient job creation in secondary sector and tertiary sectors. तो जितने लोग हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग जॉब्स अवेलेबल नहीं है. The primary reason for limited shift in employment is the failure to generate an adequate number of jobs in secondary, industrial and tertiary service sectors. Underemployment in agriculture sector. The primary sector, particularly agriculture, suffers from underemployment with more people engaged in farming than necessary. That is also called as disguised unemployment. Probably this term you would have been familiar with, disguised unemployment. All right. Then all right. उसके बाद आपका नेक्स्ट इवन थर्ड पॉइंट, शेयर ऑफ सेक्टर्स इन एम्प्लॉयमेंट थ्रू इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट और द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ गुड्स वेंट अप by more than 9 times during the period. Employment in industry went up around 3 times. ठीक है. Now again हमारी employment in terms of percentage GDP में जो contribution था वो तो definitely बढ़ा, but at the same time employment इतना नहीं बढ़ा. ठीक है, तो उसके ये कुछ reasons इन्होंने लिस्ट करे हैं. So employment in the service sector rose around 5 times only. ठीक है. So as a result, more than half of the workers in country are still working in the primary sector, mainly in agriculture, producing only about 1/6 of the GDP. In contrast, this sector, secondary and tertiary sector, produce the rest of the produce, whereas enjoy less than about half the people. अगर हम इसका एक बार वापस से टेबल देखें पीछे, तो यहाँ आप देखेंगे ओके कि टर्शियरी सेक्टर दोनों मिलके, ठीक है, ऑलमोस्ट रफली यू कैन से कि लेस देन और जस्ट मोर देन 50% employment है, but they are contributing substantially towards the GDP. All right. Now next we move on to a long answer based questions, that is of 5 marks each, 4 marks and total weightage उस section का है, section D का 20 marks का. Now first question, again this is having a choice A and B. पहला क्वेश्चन है, एनालाइज द इंपैक्ट ऑफ माइनिंग एक्टिविटीज ऑन द लोकल एनवायरनमेंट एंड द हेल्थ ऑफ द सराउंडिंग कम्युनिटीज. नाउ हजार्ड्स ऑफ माइनिंग और impacts of mining has been given or provided in your chapter manufacturing industries, mineral and power resources वाले chapter से है ये geography का portion. And health of miners and environment, probably you can see in the chapter there is a theme given, source given. From this this has been taken. Now अब क्या क्या है points, dust and noxious fumes inhaled by miners make them vulnerable to breathing diseases, risk of collapsing mine roofs, inundation and fires in coal mines are a constant threat to mines. The fact that mining is one of the most dangerous jobs, mining usually has a negative impact on the environment with the production of a lot of waste, disruption to the local flora and fauna because of mining and contamination of local water sources. It could require the removal of massive amounts of topsoil leading to erosion, soil erosion and loss of habitat and pollution. So any relevant points you can mention in this. Now the B part comes as non-conventional sources of energy or sources are the best option to conserve the natural resources. Substantiate this statement with examples. Now non-conventional resources are the best option to conserve the natural resources. Non-conventional resources again हमारी कौन-कौन सी mentioned है, which are again known as renewable sources of energy, which have been started or we have started using them quite recently. Okay, so examples उसके आगे आपके solar energy हो सकता है, bio energy, tidal energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, natural gas. They are inexhaustible and renewable. They are also considered as clean resources. Optimal use of resources energy minimizes the environmental impact other resources probably have, that is non-conventional resources produce minimum secondary waste compared to use of conventional sources. The growing consumption of energy, now energy requirements or consumptions have definitely seen a rise and will also see a rise in the coming decades as well because of our over dependence or on the energy resources. The growing consumption of energy has resulted in the country becoming increasingly dependent on fossil fuels such as coal, oil and gas. Rising prices of oil and gas and the potential shortages have raised uncertainties about the security of energy supply in future. Alright, so which turn has serious repercussions on the growth of national economy. Therefore, natural gas is considered an environmentally friendly fuel because of low carbon dioxide emissions. Renewable energy resources technologies provide an excellent opportunity for mitigation of greenhouse gas emissions and reducing global warming through substituting conventional energy sources. So, these can be your relevant points for this answer. Next question 31. How would you evaluate Napoleon as an administrator who created a more rational and effective system? Elucidate with suitable example, that is explain with suitable examples. Now the Civil Code of 1804 or the Napoleonic Code of 1804 secured the right to property, established equality before the law and removed all privileges based on birth. The Napoleonic Code was followed by regions under the French control, and as Napoleonic armies invaded other parts, this code was exported there as well. New businessmen, artisans, peasants and workers enjoyed newfound freedom. In territories under French control such as Italy, Germany, Switzerland and Dutch Republic, peasants were freed from manorial dues, peasants were freed from serfdom, feudal system was abolished and administrative divisions were simplified. So, these were some of the changes which were introduced by Napoleon. So, therefore, he created a more rational and efficient administrative system. Guild restrictions were again removed from towns so that more and more people could freely participate in trade. There were improvements in communication and transport system, better roads. To facilitate the movement and exchange of goods and capital from one region to another, small scale producers of goods and businessmen began to realize that common national currency, standardized measures and weights and uniform laws were of great help. So, therefore, Napoleon or Napoleonic Code was able to create a rational and efficient system of administration in Europe. Next part that is or इसी chapter से ही choice based question, analyze the decisions taken by conservatives at the Congress of Vienna in year 1815. So, after they collectively defeated Napoleon in 1815 at the Battle of Waterloo, that is Britain, Austria, Prussia and Russia. Alright, these countries defeated Napoleon, and then later on they met in Vienna, where Duke Metternich was hosting this Congress of Vienna, where these victorious powers decided to come up with some measures and do away with all the things which were introduced by Napoleon earlier. Okay. The representatives of the four great European powers, Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria, who had collectively defeated Napoleon, met at Vienna to draw up a settlement for Europe. The Congress was hosted by Austrian Chancellor Duke Metternich. The result was the Treaty of Vienna of 1815. Now, इसके objectives क्या क्या हैं? Basically, they wanted to undo the changes which were introduced by Napoleon and established monarchies in Europe. The object was to undo the changes that had come about in Europe during the Napoleonic Wars and to restore the monarchies that had been overthrown by Napoleon and create a new conservative order in Europe. The Bourbon dynasty of France was re-established, deposed during the French Revolution, was restored to power. France lost the territories it had annexed under Napoleon. A series of states was set up on the boundaries of France to prevent its future expansion. In the future, that is, Kingdom of Netherlands, which included Belgium, was set up in north. Then Genoa was added to Piedmont in the south. Prussia was given territories on its western frontiers. Austria was given control of northern Italy. The German Confederation of 39 states, which was created by or set up by Napoleon, was left untouched. In the east, Russia was given part of Poland, and while Prussia was given part of or portion of Saxony. Now, these monarchies which were established, the conservative regimes, were autocratic in nature. They did not tolerate any form of dissent. They did not tolerate criticism and dissent. They curbed activities and questioned the legitimacy, okay, of autocratic governments. All right. Next, analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. तो इंडिया जैसी कंट्री में मल्टी पार्टी सिस्टम का क्या रोल है? In a democratic system like India, multi-party politics plays a crucial role in representing the diverse interests and aspirations of the citizens. The multi-party system allows for a competitive and dynamic political environment. See, because of the various diversities present in India, India enjoys a multi-party system. The multi-party system, where parties with different ideologies and agendas can participate and compete for the support of the electorate. The presence of multiple parties also provides a check and balance against any kind of one party becoming too powerful and dominant. This system allows a variety of interests and opinions to be heard to enjoy political representation. People can make a choice between several candidates, and through this system, different and diverse parties could represent the sections of the society, and power does not absorb in the hands of one single party. India adopted this system probably because of the vast diversity and plurality in the nation. Next question, the OR part, that is the choice. Evaluate the significant distinction between national and regional parties and assess the requirements for a regional party to become a national party. तो अब क्या है, अभी रिसेंटली अगर हम देखें, आम आदमी पार्टी was made into a national party, but that is not still made part of our NCERT book. Alright, so national parties are powerful in the nation, it deals with national issues. Regional parties' power is limited to a specific region or state. Only the issues and demands of a specific region are discussed by regional parties. National parties' actions offer preferences to a national issue over regional problems. Regional parties' operations are confined to the state. A party must gain at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha or assembly elections in the 4 states to be a national party and win at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha to be called itself a national party. A party has to receive at least 6% of the total votes in legislative assembly elections to become a regional party and win at least 2 seats. Okay. Examples of some national parties are BJP, Congress and BSP. The examples of regional parties could be DMK, and Aam Aadmi Party has recently become a national party. Okay, DMK, AIADMK are some examples of regional parties. A farmer has borrowed money from a money lender at a high rate of interest. He could not pay the interest, he was forced to borrow from another landlord to settle the amount for the interest borrowed to the money lender. State the consequences he may face in this situation. तो अब एक ऐसी सिचुएशन बता दिए कि एक फार्मर किसान है, उसने पैसा बोरो करा फ्रॉम अ मनी लेंडर, रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट उसका हाई था, एज इनफॉर्मल सोर्स ऑफ क्रेडिट का हमें पता है कि वो हायर रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट चार्ज करते हैं, एंड ही कुड नॉट पे, अब वो अपना इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं पे कर पाया, अगेन उसको ये सेटल करने के लिए अमाउंट किसी दूसरे से वापस से बोरो करना पड़ा पैसा, ठीक है, दैट इज फोर्स्ड टू बोरो फ्रॉम अनदर लैंडलॉर्ड टू सेटल द अमाउंट फॉर द इंटरेस्ट. Now farmer has fallen into a debt trap. he is in a situation where he will not be able to repay the loan or debt incurred because the informal sector was the source of credit opted by the farmer, where the rate of interest is high, कोई proper documentation नहीं हुआ है, no set of rules and regulations are followed, the lenders were often punished and will be ill treated. The prime motive of the informal sources of this kind of credit is to make profit. He may face the following consequences. The farmer may face ongoing harassment and physical harm from the men sent by the money lender to retrieve his money. He will not be able to make regular interest payments or repay the full amount borrowed. This could lead to a significant stress and anxiety in him, as well as potential physical injuries. Borrowing from another landlord to repay the original loan may create a cycle of debt for him, for the farmer, particularly if the interest rates on the second loan are also high. तो एक लोन पे करने के लिए आप दूसरे से लोन ले रहे हो और वो अगेन दैट विल लीड टू अ डेब्ट ट्रैप. The farmer may experience personal consequences such as mental stress, anxiety and depression due to the constant pressure of repayment and harassment from the lenders. Alright. So, these are some of the consequences probably the farmer will face. Probably his land may also be taken away from him in case of failure of repayment. Again, this is also a choice question. The second part is self-help groups eliminates poverty and empowers women. Substantiate with suitable answer. Now, self-help groups are groups which are created by the women folk in a particular villages, that is 15 to 20 women contribute 25 to 100 rupees daily, and they try and help themselves till the time when they are regular in their savings for 1 or 2 years, they can approach a bank to give them a bigger loan. Okay, self-help groups help the poor to become self-reliant in terms of savings and generating income, because self-help groups solve the biggest problem faced by the rural people, people in rural areas or poor people, that is the problem of collateral which they do not have to obtain a loan. They avail the facilities of loans from formal sources like banks at low rate of interest. They do not demand collateral, and so it is easy to access by the poor. Self-help groups are exclusively meant for rural women to make them economically independent through self-employment opportunities. Also, these self-help groups act as a platform for women to discuss various social issues. Helps to improve other development factors such as literacy levels, improved healthcare and better family planning, economic empowerment. Self-help groups provide women with platform to save and access credit at affordable rates, which enables them to start and expand small business, thus improving the standard of living. Skill development. Self-help groups in India have also been successful in providing skill development and training opportunities to women. Through training programs, women are equipped with the necessary skills to start and run successful businesses. Social empowerment, by providing a platform for women to come together, share their ideas or experience and support each other, self-help groups have empowered women to take charge of their lives and become active participants in their communities. Alright. Moving on to the next section, that is the case based questions. Now, total 3 questions of 4 marks. So, the total weightage is 12 marks. Now, the first, the 34th is from your history portion, that is nationalism in India. This is from the source which is provided in the book about Mahatma Gandhi on the idea of satyagraha. It is said of passive resistance that it is the weapon of the weak, but the power which is the subject of this article can only be used by the strong. This power is not passive resistance, indeed it calls for intensive activity. The movement in South Africa was not a passive but active movement. Satyagraha is not physical force. A satyagrahi does not inflict pain on the adversary, he does not seek his destruction. In the use of satyagraha, there is no ill will whatever. Satyagraha is pure soul force. Truth is the very substance of the soul. That is why this force is called satyagraha. The soul is informed with knowledge. In it burns the flame of love. Non-violence is the supreme dharma. It is certain that India cannot rival Britain or Europe in force of arms, because the British worship war god and they can all of them become bearers of arms. The hundreds of millions of India can never carry arms. They have made the religion of non-violence their own. Alright. Now, in his famous book Hind Swaraj, Mahatma Gandhi declared that British rule was established in India with the cooperation of Indians and had survived only because we agreed to it, of this cooperation. So, if Indians refuse, this will collapse in a year. Now, the first question is, Gandhiji said passive resistance is not the weapon of the weak. Why? Because Gandhiji said passive resistance is not the weapon of the weak because it calls for intense activity with a lot of inner strength. See, now we can understand it in the sense, to hit someone, if someone hits you and then to hit that person back, it does not require any kind of intense activity, alright. But if a person is hitting you, कोई आपको मार रहा है और उसको वापस से न मारना या उसको वापस से पलट के जवाब न देना, that requires more intensive activity. So that is a kind of active resistance. So satyagraha is not a passive resistance, it is active resistance. यही पहली लाइन में, subject of the article can be used only by the strong. This power is not passive, alright. Second, satyagraha is pure soul force. Substantiate this statement in 20 words. Again, truth is the very substance of the soul that is informed with knowledge, and thus this force is called satyagraha. Why, according to Mahatma Gandhi, is the best weapon to use to collapse British rule in India? Again, in his books, Hind Swaraj declared that through non-cooperation, satyagraha, only British rule could be collapsed in India, as they could build their empire only with the cooperation of Indians. Alright. Next is again an article, probably this topic is about water resources, but this, okay. So Maharashtra is a state located in Western India with a population of over 110 million people. The state is home to several large cities including Mumbai and has a significant agriculture sector. However, the state is facing a severe water crisis, with its water resources coming under increasing pressure due to climate change, industrialization and urbanization. The main challenges faced by water resources management in Maharashtra are, क्या है? Overexploitation of groundwater, pollution of surface water and inefficient irrigation practices. Now let us look at the questions. Mention any two reasons for the water crisis faced by state of Maharashtra. Are overexploitation of groundwater and pollution of surface water bodies due to industrialization and urbanization. Despite being the second highest rainfall receiving state in the country or of the country, Maharashtra still faces water crisis. Why? Despite receiving the second highest rainfall in the country, traditional irrigation practices like flood irrigation leading to water shortages in Maharashtra. This is because flood irrigation involves excessive water use and the water gets lost due to runoff, leading to less water available for other uses. Use of sprinklers probably can be used to avoid this situation. Propose any one solution to mitigate the water crisis faced by Maharashtra state. To mitigate the water crisis, one solution could be to promote the adoption of more efficient irrigation practices such as drip irrigation and sprinkler systems that use less water and are more targeted in their delivery. The state can also use rainwater harvesting systems like probably as we have heard about Tamil Nadu has made it compulsory for most houses to have rainwater harvesting systems. Groundwater levels along the western side of Western Ghats which receive maximum rainfall. This will again increase the efficiency of water use in state of Maharashtra. Alright. Next, read the source given below and answer the questions that follow. Now this is from the chapter development about GDP. For comparing countries, their income is considered to be one of the most important attributes. Countries with higher income are more developed than others with less income. Alright. Sorry. So the questions here are, explain the significance. Now there are only two questions in this third part and they both carry 2 marks each. पहले वाले जो थे तो उसमें 1 और 2 के हिसाब से ब्रेक डाउन था. Now explain the significance of per capita income or the average income, enables comparison between countries and provide insights into the relative economic performance and living standards across different nations. Per capita income also serves as an important indicator of the standard of living in a country. Now what are the classifications of countries based on per capita income and which entity is responsible for determining these classifications? Now countries are classified as high income or rich countries and low income countries based on their per capita income. US dollar 49,300 per annum, they will be classified rich country, and if again it is less than or near to US dollar 2,500 per annum, it will be called a poor country. World Bank determines this classification. Alright. Now next is our map work. Now map section, that is again total 5 marks, 2 marks from your history portion, that is again from your nationalism in India, and 3 marks from your geography portion. Now the first 2 points are Indian National Congress session at this place in 1920, the place where Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law. So A, ठीक है, ये वाला आपका पहला है, Indian National Congress session in this place, at this place in 1920, Calcutta, now Kolkata, and B, where Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law, that is Dandi. Okay, and B part में आपका a coal mine in Tamil Nadu, Neyveli, a dam built on river Chenab, Salal, a large natural major seaport located in Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam, and Noida Software Technology Park. Remember, out of these 4, we have to attempt only 3. All right. So the solution of the map work is given here. First is Calcutta, Dandi, then Neyveli, then we have Salal Dam, Visakhapatnam, and Noida Software Technology Park. All right. This brings us to an end of the complete solution for the sample paper Social Science 2023-24. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.